The world around us is collapsing, but the loving promises of God remain sure. Somebody has to talk about it. For the best in Christian talk, you're listening to Ari Golden.
Hi, I'm Ari Golden. Thank you so much for being with us today on WYDU93.4. Today we're going to talk about world government, but before we do in our inaugural broadcast, we're going to read from the book of Revelation, chapter 13, beginning at verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. Those numbers, by the way, are 666. We're going to talk about world government today. As I lead into it, though, there's a question to be asked in light of what I just read. How do you get into a dystopic situation like we just read about with the beast, the false prophet, bringing total tyranny and destruction, death, deceit upon the land? You do it because the ground has to be built for that. All the apparatus has to be put in place to launch it. And my friends, this has been going on for a long time. However, we are now traveling at hyperspeed to launch us into this dystopic nightmare that we call the Great Tribulation. And we're right on the eve of it. And you have to consider, as we talk about world government, that it's not anything new, that we've always had world empires, that we've always had nation destruction and total enslavement of those people and gathering them up under a power vacuum. You can go back to the book of Genesis, in the book of the beginning, and read about the Egyptian empire. You have the Assyrian empire, the Babylonian empire, the Persian empire, the Greek empire, the Roman empire. These aren't anything new. But there's one single thread that goes through all of them. Nothing was any good. It didn't represent anything good in any of them. And we're being sold on the concept that actually being a member of the global community, being a global citizen, is actually a good thing. It's not a good thing. This is it. See, it says even in the Word of God, I believe it's in Song of Solomon, Proverbs, that there's nothing new under the sun. See, this is all repackaged. It's just that it's because of our advancement that we've made through time to get to where we are today. It is much more tyrannical than it ever was. And the means by which, see, back then, people were beaten, people were beheaded. But see, now we're talking about chips being put into people. We're talking about beaming through the Blue Beam Project, beaming stuff in the atmosphere, beaming stuff in your head for mind control. They didn't have that stuff back then. We're talking about a total dystopic, tyrannical nightmare scenario. That's what we're facing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of Christians that don't even realize where we are. There may even be pastors that don't even realize where we are in history, where we are in prophecy. right on the threshold of the Great Tribulation. Now, again, this system is not anything new. You can go back to Nimrod's system, back in Babylon, in Babel, where he built the Tower of Babel. And of course, God destroyed that whole scenario that he was building by confusing their languages. But there was one world government then. They were all one mind and they were all one purpose. But God defeated it, and God's going to defeat this system. So, despite what these folks are trying to tell us, we need to see what this is for what it really is, what it really means. And we need to get the word out. We need to do wake-up calls. We need to share information with people just so they'll understand and see and know that the only folks that are really playing with this whole thing are us. The devil's not playing at all. He aims to, as Jesus said, steal. He does three things really well: steal, kill, and destroy. I got a lot more I want to say about this. At this time, though, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be back.
We're all busy as we go about in our various lives. You know, busy. Going to work, driving to and fro, or watching a politician give a fiery political speech. Meandering through life without proper optical support, you may miss the superior clarity available to support your visual health. Introducing They Live Designer Eyewear. Wearing They Live Designer Eyewear gives you the greatest clarity, sharpness, and perception. These glasses are guaranteed to revolutionize your vision or your money back. They won't just give you great vision, they may just save your life. Get your pair today. They Live Designer Eyewear. True vision revealed. Revealing vision true. Get a pair today.
Let's face it, the zombie apocalypse is upon us. The infection rate is high. The symptoms are acute. Indifference about humanity, one's destiny, and infatuation with lifeless things, among others. There is a way to combat zombiosis. Anti-zombiosis intravenous injection. Anti-zombiosis intravenous injections combat zombiosis, giving you superior protection and control of your health against this serious condition. Remember, it is possible to be both alive and be dead at the same time. Protect you and your loved ones today. Anti-zombiosis injections.
One of life's challenges for us revolves around maintaining good, consistent, deep sleep patterns. This can be difficult in this modernity. Good, sweet, comfortable sleep can be interrupted by loud, disturbing, and persistent cries to be awake and free. With Sheeple Sleep Aid, you don't have to put up with pesky awakenings to respond to actionable calls to righteousness, goodness, and freedom. After all, the bottom line is sleep. Sleep, dear one, sleep.